Hey everyone. Today's topic, rejecting people is tough. If you're a good person, rejecting others is not easy, especially if the person you're rejecting is also a good person. Because of course you don't want to disappoint them like that. But it's something that you kind of can't avoid. When you're put on the spot and someone's trying to get your number or trying to ask you out on a date, you kind of have to give them a response right then and there, which often means figuring out in like milliseconds how to respond in a way that doesn't completely devastate the other person or make you come off like a callous prick. And yeah, it's tough. And I'm making this video discussing it because, as you may imagine, this morning I actually had to do this myself. And it's something I haven't done often at all in my life, which makes sense, right? I'm a dude, and quite often women will not make the first move on you. So I really haven't ever had to do this much. In fact, I think the last time I ever rejected a woman was probably in high school. I think. Yeah, it's been a while. It's been over 10 years. So I didn't know how to react basically because I haven't been in that position often at all in my life. I haven't had to do that much. So I almost didn't even know what to say because, as I was saying earlier, you don't want to be mean to the other person. You don't want to make them feel bad about themselves. So you're like, how the hell can I let them down in a way that's truthful but not cruel? So, yeah, I mean, what ended up happening was basically, there's a valet service in the parking lot for my company because a lot of people share that parking lot and there's just so many cars. So they play basically musical cars with all our vehicles. And the valet people are human beings, so I treat them really well and I get to know a lot of them and their names and whatnot. And one of them is a really cool woman, and she ended up taking a liking to me because on Thursday of last week I found a note she left in my car with her number on it, but I'm just not attracted to her. She's not my type. That's the most I'll say there. It's, it happens. And yeah, so I didn't call her using her number or anything. I continued to treat her the way they always have because she's cool. I just don't view her in that way. I'd love to have her as a friend, but nothing more. And today, when I parked my car at my job and I was going to walk into the office, she actually sent a coworker of hers to come talk to me and ask for my number on her behalf. And that's where I was put into the position of like, oh crap, like how do you tell someone that you're not interested, but they're not a bad person or anything? It's just you're not interested, and that's okay. And it doesn't, hopefully they don't take it in a bad way. They shouldn't be disappointed or anything because it's fine. It's a normal thing. But so many people will kind of take it personally because they become attached to an outcome. They want to get that other person on a date. They want to see them more often because they like them. I mean, I've been in that position with women as well, so I know what it's like. And often we can even take it as if there's something wrong with us. Like if I was more attractive, maybe they'd like me. If I was taller, maybe they'd like me. Or if whatever, maybe they would like me more. But we can't ever possibly know that. And sometimes it wouldn't even be the case anyway. Sometimes we just may not be their type. And that's okay. But so few people have worked on themselves enough to be able to handle rejection like that, to be able to just take it on the chin and be like, yeah, it's fine, and continue on with your life, and not hold it against the other person either for rejecting them. So all those things can make it very difficult to reject someone else. And like I said earlier, I haven't really ever had to do this much, so I am completely out of practice with it. I almost didn't even know how to react because all these things were going through my head in the milliseconds that I was trying to think of a response to the coworker. I didn't want to be mean to the woman in question because she's cool. I like her. Just, not romantically, but she's awesome. I didn't want her to view me differently. So I felt like I was put in a position I didn't want to be in. I didn't want to have to do that because she's a cool person. I don't want to, yeah, you get what I'm saying. But yeah, this kind of opened my eyes to how life must be for women because, they get approached by guys and then they'll have to reject one, sometimes even good guys, just because they're not attracted to them for some reason or they're just not that woman's type. And that's okay. It's a normal thing. But it can be very difficult to deal with, because you don't want to hurt them. You don't want to be mean or anything like that. And it's tough. So yeah, this experience was very interesting for me because it's just something I haven't had to deal with much at all. So it was very eye-opening, pretty much. And basically the way that I handled it was I said something along the lines of, I'm not really looking for a relationship right now. I'm not really in a good place. And that's actually true for the most part, although that first line, maybe I would think differently if the woman was completely awesome and I was attracted to her. Maybe I would make an exception there. So that was a bit of a white lie. But I didn't know what else to say. I didn't know how to. You can't quite be completely truthful and honest unless you know the other person will handle it well. And if you don't know them well, you can't really. Nobody's going to make that bet usually. So yeah, it's a tricky thing. And I don't envy attractive women for having to do that often. But I do imagine in some cases guys can be a bit pushy or creepy, and that probably makes rejection. I was going to say that would make rejection slightly easier, but maybe it doesn't. Maybe it actually makes it worse, because then they're fearing how he may react, and if he will react in like a violent or aggressive or otherwise bad way. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's ever really easy. So there you go. Just an interesting thing. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about in this video. Just interesting for the people out there who have to reject others often, because how the hell do you deal with it? Like, I'm curious how you handle it. I feel like most of the time it probably does involve like little white lies and then a little bit of truth added at the end, because you don't want to completely lie to the other person, because most of the time others can kind of tell, but at the same time, you're not going to just agree to get their number or whatever when you're not interested in them, because that's not cool either. So you need to find a way to let them down gently, and it's not easy. But yeah, anyway, I'm heading into rambling territory. I pretty much already said what I wanted to say in this video, so I hope you found this interesting, a guy's perspective on rejection, because we really don't ever have to do this much. I really do wish women would actually initiate more often, because it would just be nice to know when a woman's actually interested in us. I bet a lot of guys can agree with that, especially if it's like an attractive woman, because typically that's not going to happen. So it's a rare territory for men to ever even be approached by a woman in the first place. But yeah, curious to know what you guys have to say about this. If you enjoyed this little stream of consciousness video, feel free to subscribe for more. If you like the video, feel free to leave a like on it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Arrivederci.